My Gavanen Melonin, and well met indeed. I am Archaeologirthan, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer. And welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as Lothlórien in their Total War campaign for complete domination of Middle-earth. Or at least the area around the Anduin. You join us as we attack the small village of Achnod, and we are to kill the Uruk governor. There he is at the back. Bald-headed and ready. We're doing okay, I think. There's a lot of armies around us, but I'm confident of our success. Today, you'll be pleased to note, total tangent, I'm afraid, totally unrelated to the video, is a good day, for we have finally got the other side in our house purchase to actually do something. After 9 weeks since they accepted our offer, most transactions here in the UK with the property market system that we use would be done by now. We would be homeowners, some probably 3 weeks ago. But now we actually have a date, and hopefully in the week of the 11th of June we shall move into our new home. Which is still a ways off, but we're going to Sicily for a week between then. Oh, I should have said that as well. There's going to be a week where I have no videos because I'm going to Italy for a week. I already mentioned that, I think, because a couple of you, very graciously, a couple of you Italian folk have said I can ask any questions that I will. But I've been to Italy quite a few times, and I'm okay with basics of the language, but I've never been to Sicily, so if you have any general tips, we're going to the town of Taormina, and, the enemy are badly bloody. Little Blue Ferret wishes to do an awful lot of sunbathing, which I don't find very interesting, so I'm hoping to read quite a lot of the Robert Jordan Wheel of Time series while she sunbathes. And but then when we can get out, I'm hoping to go to Syracuse, whatever it's called in Italian, Syracusa? I don't know. Anyway, so that's all coming up. Also this week, I finally have been granted permission to complete my solicitor training. And I have been given the final stage of the solicitor path, which is the training contract. And in only a few short years, unfortunately, I will be a qualified solicitor in England and Wales. Not in Scotland, of course. Well, I will be a qualified solicitor in Scotland. I just would have to do other things. I'd have to learn other things to practice there because we have a very old legal system. I'm talking about all of this because this battle was over before it even begun. And I've just tried to cover that. Relating to the channel, something I feel I should point out, as a lot of people seem terribly dismayed, is that I cheat. I do cheat when I play this game. I don't do ridiculous cheating. I never give myself money. I never give myself units. But I do move diplomats around, and I do cheese the game, which some consider cheating. We have won here today. I feel like I should state this at the start of maybe every video, because I'm getting quite a lot of comments recently of people just saying, like, dude, you don't need to cheat to do this, do that, the other. And it's like, friends, I'm going to cheat to move my diplomats around. That is how I play the game. Yes, I am the modding leader, granted, but that doesn't necessarily equate to modding or gaming excellence. And I'm not really very good. I'm terribly average. And but that's something of a draw of the channel, to be honest. If you want to watch someone win over and over and over with nary a challenge, then I'm sure there are channels out there for you. But if you want to see someone who actually loses, apparently quite frequently, then stay tuned. I appreciate, though, that losing is a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? Because if you lose all the time, people will not find it interesting. If you win all the time, I'm sure people will also not find it all that interesting. So it's about trying to strike a balance somewhere in the middle. Speaking of the middle, that's exactly where we are. Someone made a very valid point. I believe it might have been... No, sorry, I cannot remember the names. I'm terribly sorry. You comment on almost every video. Is it Hotho or Hertho? Hotho with an umlaut. Ploink. May have suggested that I should now take adoptions because, of course, we changed it in Divide and Conquer so that default generals will always get free upkeep in a town that can build a town hall. As long as you can get a town hall, then the default general for your faction will have free upkeep in that town. And, of course, I have never adapted my playstyle to take that into account. So, for example, I could take an adoption, drop him in Roscabel where I don't really care for him, leave him there and never have to worry, because he'd get free upkeep as long as I built the town hall, and of course he's then a better than average unit. And I've never adapted to playing that way, and so for that I do apologise. I should play that way. But now we have to come to the decision of how we defeat these. Killing these individually is very easy. If they all group up with Zugnash, then it'll be a bit of a challenge. But we can't reach them all, and if we leave anyone in the town, they'll take it back. Oh, I'll tell you what we could do, actually. We could just let them have the town. We're not bothered about Achnod, Iaun, so we'll bump up the tax rate. No, that's silly, because it might rebel and join them, and then it will give them units. But if we just go out to mop up the enemies that are standing around, then they'll either come to attack us, or they'll move back into Achnod, Iaun and just sit there, where we can just siege them out again. He's got some hunters, but they're not really a threat. And he's got some hunters, and they're also not a threat. Easy victory. Another thing I feel I should say, and I am a little in two minds about it, is that, yes, I do drink while I record. You'll be pleased to know that it's normally only just Tesco's cherries and berries. Other soft drinks are available. But I do that while I record, and no, I don't bother taking the time going through and cutting out any time I drink. And I apologise for that. If it is too much and it is too annoying for you to hear me just swallow every now and then I can only apologise. But life's just too short to care about such nonsense like that. If I were trying to really, really do YouTube as a career, I would really go hard on things like that. But I'm not, and I couldn't care less. I know that sounds really bad, but I came into this just to make installation videos for Divide and Conquer because I was fed up writing the same thing out over and over. And it turns out that I have a reasonable voice for this kind of work. So I've stuck at it, but I in no way want to make this a career. Not at all. Even if my channel absolutely exploded. I mean, it has done very well, but even if it like really took off to like 200,000 in like a year, for example, I still would only do it as a hobby, and I'm never going to devote more than just a cursory amount of my time to it. As I've already just mentioned, I'm in training to qualify as a solicitor, and I would much rather do that. It also pays better. So, I'm sorry for the amateur nature of my videos, but they shall remain that, amateur. And I do apologise for things, yes. Well, number one, because I'm British and we're polite, and that's a trait that many of us share. Not all of us, of course. There are very rude British people. But I believe that in the modern age, a British person can differentiate himself from the Maya by just merely being polite to everyone. And part of that is apologising when you're doing something that may cause offence. If you aren't offended by it, you'll be annoyed that I'm saying sorry. But if you are finding it, if it is directed at you, then you'll be pleased that I've taken the time to apologise. Don't fire at will, actually. Oh, do fire at will. They've changed direction. If they get close, we'll charge Celeborn in. Getting a little close. There we are.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men. The enemy general abandons his men.
Well, and he's fled. Everyone shooting at those now, please. Or the targets I've already given you.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Celeborn's just gone in on his own like a madman.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy. Ready for battle. Our men have slain the enemy general. The enemy army.
Oh, they've broken and they're fleeing.
Them down.
What is it at the minute? 86. Continue for a bit. Oh, you're all out of. Most of you are out of arrows anyway. Keep it up. And there we are, that'll do.
Be awed by the victory we have.
That, if I am not mistaken, and my knowledge of the first age is not top rate, but I am fairly certain that that is Turin Turamba, and he has just slain his greatest friend, Beleg. Beleg is an elf. His name means great or mighty. And Turin kills him. In a sort of fit of madness, if I remember rightly, and he doesn't see him for who he is, and he grabs his sword, which probably also has a name, and he slays him. And then he quickly realises what he's done and repents. I'm afraid, as I say, my knowledge of the first stage is patchy, because I don't find it as interesting. I am sorry. And so I couldn't tell you who the other elf crouching before them is, but I'm sure she/he also has a name. Just in the same way that historians focus on set eras, and if you were to ask a historian who focused on, for example, Europe between the years 1918 to 1945, they're not going to know jack all about, say, the Roman invasion of Britain. But they still call themselves historians, and I would submit it's a similar sort of thing. I would consider myself something of a Tolkien scholar, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I know everything about Tolkien. Which is another disclaimer I feel that should be present in every video and should be said at all times. My difficulty with YouTube, as I've discovered in the 2 years I've now been doing all of this, is that I disdain the obvious. Or more accurately, I dislike it when people point out the obvious to me. And that is what I struggle with. So I often lay heavy scorn at the door of those that do such a thing, and I shouldn't really, because they may just be innocent requests or innocent questions or innocent beliefs, and I'm laying heavy scorn on them because it's maybe the 100th time that innocent belief has been laid on my door, or laid on my doorstep. And that's not really fair, is it? Draug Minayon, I will take you. Oh, the mountain orcs are doing well. They've expanded. Oh, what's this? Misty Mountains. Sneaking around. Caraskalathon has built a Master Builder's Hall. Is that the greatest tier? No, there's a Builder's Guild house to go as well. Oh, we don't have any money though. As hoped for, the AI took Achnod and then have just sat inside of it.
Have a taste of my blade.
Assail them! We've defeated their wretched army.
Now, if we take down Lugbag, I don't think we can actually then make it to Achnod. But if we siege Achnod, Lugbag's going to attack us, so we're going to have to go for him. What have you got? One unit of archers, and they've got so... their battalions just have so many units. We don't have enough arrows to kill all the buggers. That is, of course, Boromir blowing the horn of Gondor, as Merry and Pippin cower behind him in fear of the Uruk-hai. Right, let's do exactly the same thing we did last time. Lothlórien archers, ready for battle. Everybody line up. Probably not going to need you guys. In fact, we almost certainly won't. Celeborn can already fire, you jammy bugger. Now, we attack them again, remember, so they will, as you are seeing, they will run away. But we'll chase the buggers down. It's a lovely sunny day here as well, just in case you're interested. Remember, this week there will only be this video. The Ardenaim video was double the normal length in compensation. So rather than doing 2 half-an-hour videos, I did 1 hour long one. But this video will then be all you're going to be served up for the rest of this week. But this coming Saturday we'll do a changelog / installation guide / informative video about Hummingbird's new Dwarven overhaul. Submod / main aspect of version, whatever the next version of DaC is to be called. Celeborn, you've got more arrows than most, so you start shooting them and see if they come at us. I'm not too worried about their archers for the moment. So, Celeborn, charge up to those raiders. You should be able to hit those stalkers. How are there still 203 of them? You're firing like point blank. You're elven archers. Kill more of them!
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Can use the tactic I absolutely loathe, skirmishing. Yeah, by all means charge Celeborn. I would welcome that, to be honest. Right, you guys can change up and start shooting those hunters. In fact, you can all start shooting those hunters. Celeborn will easily handle those
Only
without
half the enemy
with
force
minimal losses.
remains.
We must bring justice to the enemy. Here's another modding tidbit for you. You'll notice last time Celeborn, in the last battle, he charged into those enemies on his own, without his battalion. And that is, of course, because officers cannot have bows. Or more accurately, officers can have bows. But if they have a bow, you cannot give an officer a secondary weapon. So they would fire their bow gaily along with the rest of the battalion, and then as soon as they entered melee, they would just stand still and stare at the enemy for the rest of the battle, holding a bow. They might try and get shots off, but it'd be very unlikely. In fact, I actually believe bows, they can't have bows, I think. I think there is a hard-coded game limitation that officers cannot wield a bow. In fact, that is the case, because Faramir, I tested this with Faramir, and I tried to give him a bow. And whilst he actually appears in the battle with a bow, he never actually fires it. He just stands still the whole time. So you can't have bows. Why is this battalion lasting longer than any other? These stalkers are really going for it.
Behold how our this is
7, we lost 7. Lugbag lost them all. I should start using skirmishing more, I suppose. It saved probably 3 elven lives, which is a good thing, I guess. And ensured the destruction of that battalion as they then charged Celeborn like idiots. Apologies. Anyway, as I've also all over the place. As I have stated before, I shall also be returning to the lore videos once I am settled in my house. I've already told you now that we're hoping to be in the house around the 11th of June. Our actual point that we then live in it every single day, because it needs some work first, will be a couple of weeks after that. So there might be a 2-week period with very few videos as I focus on getting my house ready. And but then when I move in, there will be no disruptions. It will all be brilliant. And I can then devote some time to do a lore video. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it greatly. Draug, where did you go? There you are.
Elves.
You're going to go and become our border guard.
Stay alert.
Although, have we got any money? Yeah, build me some towers on your way around, actually. Haldir! Whoa, what is this?
Perhaps you seek a diplomat and not a warrior.
Please tell me you're going to Zagala, because if you're coming towards me, we're going to have words.
Without question, as you wish. I shall continue tomorrow.
If they do come towards me, this campaign is over. I'm just going to put that out there. I think given that our main army is now at Achnod, Iaun, we don't really need Haldir in here, and he is costing us a lot of money. It only makes 100 extra gold with his presence, and he costs 384. However, you did note that it just went down in... it only grows with him in it, but then we can replace that with buildings. I'd rather have him in a fort and get that free upkeep. Because I'd really like to get those 2 cavalry units into the army with Celeborn. Also, I note we have 2 units there. I'm not entirely certain why.
For the light.
Get those sentries into there. More free upkeep again. We're losing money, yes, but in a moment we'll have Achnod Iaun again, and we shall again start making money. I think that was a good idea with Achnod Iaun. We basically baited the enemy into taking their own town back as a trap. Because now if they rise up and attack us, it'll be a win. If they let us siege it out, we'll win. Oh, you jammy bastards. Go on then.
We cannot thank an honour and a pleasure.
I don't really want to attack you just yet. I need to just make sure that Dol Guldur are nicely packaged up and the threat is removed. And then we shall crush the Anduin. Elven supremacy will reign. I do like Lothlórien. They are... I would go out on a limb and suggest they're my favourite elven nation. Which is interesting because I thought I'd like Mirkwood more. But I think in actuality I like Lothlórien more. Oh, hello.
I'm gonna stick you.
Ah, that throws a little jam into our chocolate sandwich, doesn't it?
Elves. Elven warriors. Sire. By the light of Elbereth.
Let's just get you straight up to Roskilde. But it won't be free upkeep just yet because we've got to build that. But that is a large Guldur army that will arrive at our doorstep. We don't want to be caught in a siege. We want to be fighting that one out. See, their numbers are so great. We will probably still win, but we will lose so many elves. But then I think we might be at a point where we can kind of take that. No, we want those before we start fighting armies like that. I think we should attack and take Achnod Iaun now, sack it, leave it at the very high tax rate, and withdraw, so that we get some money out of the thing. That is what we'll do.
take it for the elves.
We get a huge advantage in battles like this
Evil must not
with
be
the amount of
allowed
archers
to
we
triumph
have.
this day.
And especially with these Wild Men battle maps, courtesy of Europa Barbarum 2, I think. Because obviously the AI tends to sit in the middle, and so you can just surround the town, fire in. Happy as Larry. Can we get a nice sunny day though? That'll do. Some cloud. But some cloud is alright. We may actually need... That was a weird accent. We might actually need our melee forces this time. Oh, they're outside the walls. Oh, I didn't expect that. I expected them to be in the middle. No, tell you what. You guys run up onto that hill. You shoot them. You shoot those Mirkwood Stalkers. You two run over there. And you run there. Because you are then going to fire on those Orc Raiders. Go for those Mirkwood Stalkers. Aha! The glory moment has just arrived. It looks like they're running everyone into the middle. Maneuver into positions to make the most of this glorious opportunity. Hopefully now we shall get outrageous kill stats. Yeah, look at that number going up with every volley.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Are they actually charging us? No, they're not. Keep up the fire. 84% of them have died. We've lost 1% so far.
Good
It really is
tidings.
over, isn't
The
it?
enemy general lies dead.
You guys have finished. Only you two remain. Oh, what a simple victory. Archer nations, almost as OP as cavalry. But where cavalry suck the absolute most, archers then do the very best. Villages. If I had an all-cavalry army here, whereas out on the field, cavalry, especially any kind of elven cavalry or late-game cavalry, will absolutely massacre early-tier orcs. But of course, early-tier orcs have the numbers to really annoy and pester elven archers. But then swap the tides around, play it in a village like this, and suddenly elven cavalry becomes nothing but a nuisance, and elven archers become complete
This
monsters.
is a clear victory.
11 elves died in that 1,353 massacre. Right, so this time we will just sack it and leave. Leave the if the Dol force then takes the village, we could try and siege it out, and then play the very cheeky game where we do exactly what we've just did, fire all our arrows into the middle. When we run out of arrows, we just run away. It creates a draw, and we get to siege it out again, and then we do the same thing a second time. But that depends on whether or not they rise up and attack in that one turn where they siege it. Or the one turn where we siege it, sorry.
Claim it for the free peoples.
We get more money if we just occupy it. We can't destroy much though, I don't think. Oh no, what am I saying? We can destroy almost everything. Milk it for as much money as we can get. Oh, brilliant, look at that. We can pull right out. No pun intended.
By the light of Elbereth.
Haldir, you move to that northern border.
Elves, we must
And we
give
will.
up
We'll
the
move the
road.
army into the fort.
Onward.
Oh, we've got so much money. Quickly use it. Get some cavalry. We can get both. Yes! 3 turns. Celeborn's army will rise to glory. Probably should have used it to build the Hall of Song, actually. Although, apparently we're going to get 2,000 gold on the next turn. Although we're going to lose that straight away. But that's okay.
Sire.
That is okay. You should build some towers, I think.
Orders completed.
We'll just, as we'll move through. We'll end the turn, see what happens.
Elves.
Isengard and Dunland have allied. Dale and Woodland Realm and Anduin and the Woodland Realm have allied. No surprises there. But of course, Dale are at war with Erebor, so the elves and dwarves are going to go to war. And we're only about 9 turns away now from the Elven Alliance, where we can reject it and immediately break our alliance with the Woodland Realm. Anduin might, but at the moment, of course, the Anduin will be looking a little more favourably on us, as we are now allied to their ally, which is a way to increase relations with them. So they won't be expecting the backstab that we will soon be giving them. Oh, the Moot Lord of Enedwythe has died.
Yes, my lord.
We didn't lose Achnod Iaun.
For my king, we have no complaints. You have another proposal then? Goodbye. We look forward
Way!
question.
Mission success.
Tomorrow's
500 gold
journey planned
coins. Relations improved. Now I'm at an absolute loss. Dol did not
Follow me.
come back to get our
Scout the area.
town.
Orders completed.
We will need that one.
By the light of Elbereth. We'll ruin these trees no longer.
Oh, we're getting loads of money now. Oh, that's of course because our army's in the garrison. Don't need another general. Those cavalry units are training. Oh, the Hall of Music's being built. Ah, but the Hall of Song isn't. That's right. The Hall of Music is arguably more important. Although the Hall of Song will give us free upkeep for Draug Minayan. Draug Minayan. Draug Minayan. But he's going to build a few more towers. I wonder what's going to happen here. Then we've got a spy. Where are you? Oh, you're watching Zag Keller, aren't you? Yeah. Can you build me another one? No, we're at the limit. Well, we're not as interested in Zag Keller. Well, we kind of are actually, because Lord Boffer. What are you going to do? Khazad-dum. I don't think you have any enemies, do you? Oh, I've gone past them. Are they with the other dwarves? Yes, there they are. No allies nor enemies. So that army could just as easily come for us as it will the orcs. Which doesn't bode all that well, does it?
Follow me.
Celeborn.
We will need that one.
Let's give us a little bit more warning. I'm surprised. Yeah, it just shows the ineptitude of the AI, doesn't it? That army was needed elsewhere, fair enough. But they could have just broken one unit away. Apologies for the table rock there. They could have just broken one unit away from the army, sent them to take the town, which clearly had no garrison, and then gone off to join the others or stayed in garrison and they'd get the money for it. But apparently it wasn't deemed worthy enough. I can't imagine where the other major enemies are, though. Misty Mountain's trying to bribe us. Khazad-dum did not attack us. Another turn of peace. When we actually get to a point where I feel we're powerful, we will, of course, go for Khazad-dum. It is a huge moneymaker, and it's practically an auto-win switch. Do we want another... He could go to Achnod Iaun, couldn't he? Go on, then. Did you join Celeborn? Oh, you started in Achnod Iaun. Oh, excellent. Surely it likes us a bit more now. Yeah, it's up to 60%.
By the light of Elbereth. Stay in the trees.
We will need that one.
Onward.
Still haven't made enough to take Roscovel, though. Oh, Garrus Galathon, though. Oh, that's because the training's going through, isn't it? That's okay. That is okay. Dol Amroth and the Ardenheim are at war. Dorwinion and the Easterlings are at war. Dol Guldur, who else are you at war with? Anduin, Lothlórien, Woodland Rune, of course. So those units probably were needed out near the front.
We will need
Once again, just give ourselves a bit more information. Celeborn's army now, though, we can... Once we've got those 2 halls of song being built, I'll move Celeborn's army out. And of course, we're waiting for the cavalry anyway, aren't we? You might as well take that Lorien sentry unit as well, to be honest. Yeah.
My lord.
I'm thinking I'll take both of those out as well. Oh no, but then with the cavalry, we've got to make sure that we actually still make some money. We can't completely neuter ourselves.
My lord.
Don't really know where we want the diplomat to go now. You might as well just hang around here somewhere, I
Without
suppose.
question. I shall continue tomorrow.
Give it another go. Ah, we lost it. But it turned rebel. It didn't go to Dol Guldur. That's interesting. We'll nip back in and take that now, though. Should be able to hold it. Should be able to hold it. At 60%, you'd expect it not to revolt, but because it's been rebelling for 2 turns, it adds to almost like a little story that you can't escape from. A roller coaster you can't get off. Dol Guldur have gone very quiet, though. I think the sheer number of enemies has finally broken them, and they just figured we're not the biggest threat. Oh, we get a unit for taking back a town that we already had. And what's it got in the garrison? Valesman.
I will defend my people.
To be honest, I think he's probably good enough to take it on his own. Although, no, there are a lot of them, aren't there?
Elves.
I can't get the archers out to you in time.
Elves.
Over here, elves.
They will not see us in the forest.
We will need that one.
Still haven't built that in Achnod yet. In Roscabel.
Yes, my lord.
Our
Onward.
horses are ready.
They will not see us
We're
in
only
the
just
forest.
making 1,000. I just need that building to build, and then we're good to go.
Be wary.
Let's see how we go with an auto resolve with him, actually. I think I won't bother taking those units out of the garrison. I don't think we'll have enough money to do that. Because all of these are going to come out, of course. But with those 2 cavalry units, we're in a very good place. We could go up and take Zagkala, but I don't know how we will hold it. And then Misty Mountains might fear... The Khazad-dum might then be a bit more aggressive because we completely surround them if we take Zagkala. But I am going to end this episode there. So 2 successful victories over Dol Guldur, or 3, 4, however many it was. Our army is assembling quite nicely, and we now can move out from a position of relative strength. Ah, Dol Guldur got Dol Guldur back. No, that is our goal then. That is where this army is going to go. Get back Dol Guldur. And then we'll have a nice stronghold. But for now, that will be all. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. And until we speak again, dear friends, Navarre den Perimad Melunin, and farewell.